Hello, everyone. There comes a moment in every powerful woman's life when she must confront the truth that her kindness has become her cage. For too long, you've been applauded for being accommodating, admired for your patience, and praised for your softness, all while your strength was dismissed and your worth was measured by how much you could tolerate. But understand this, no one ever rose to greatness by seeking approval from those who benefit from their silence. The world does not reward the woman who waits quietly to be treated right. It rewards the one who decides she is no longer available for disrespect. If your life is filled with men who only take, then it is not your kindness that is failing you. It is your failure to demand more. Today is not about revenge. It is about reclaiming your power. Stop being nice where you're called to be clear, where you are called to be bold, and where you are called to walk away. My dear listeners, there is something deep inside you that has always known the truth. You were not born to beg for love. You were not shaped by the hands of the Creator to be overlooked or handled like something cheap. And yet, somewhere along the way, you were taught to confuse kindness with sacrifice and patience with silence. You were told that being nice to a man would earn you his heart, his loyalty, his respect. But I came to tell you that the only thing it earned was your own exhaustion. You gave so much that you started forgetting the shape of your own soul. You kept hoping he would see you. You kept waiting for him to rise to your level, but he had no intention of rising. He was comfortable with you reaching down. He was pleased as long as you made yourself small. When he needed something, you ran. When you needed something, he disappeared. And still, you smiled through the pain, thinking maybe if you were just a little nicer, he would change. You dear, your kindness does not heal what a man refuses to confront in himself. There is a cost to carrying everyone but yourself. You wake up one day and find your joy missing, your voice hoarse from saying yes when your spirit screamed no. You look in the mirror and barely recognize the woman staring back. She is tired, she is weary, but she is also wise. There's a moment you realize that being nice has only kept you in places you should have outgrown. You begin to rise. You begin to walk away without looking back. The hides of you have mistaken your value for your service. You have believed that if you did enough, gave enough, endured enough, you would finally be worthy, but your worth was never up for debate. It was written in the stars, sealed in your bones, and woven into your breath. Stop trading your self-respect for a seat next to a man who cannot even meet your gaze with truth. Love is not a reward for suffering. It is a reflection of alignment. And you, my dear, are out of alignment when you shrink for the sake of being chosen. There is a power that comes when a woman stops asking for permission, when she decides that her peace is more important than a man's potential, when she understands that a relationship built on her silence is not love, it is survival. You do not need to explain why you left. You do not need to justify why you are no longer available. You just need to walk in your truth like it is a crown and let the world adjust. You are not too much. You have simply been giving too much to someone not ready for you. So now is the time to draw the line, not with bitterness, but with boldness, not with cruelty, but with clarity. You are not here to prove you are good enough by staying where you are mistreated. You are here to show what is possible when a woman finally loves herself enough to stop being nice where she is meant to be, powerful. And when you do, the right people will not need to be convinced. They will recognize you. They will rise to meet you. They will honor what others tried to exploit. Stop being nice to men who drain your fire and dim your light. Start being true to yourself. My dear listeners, there is a reason your spirit feels restless. When you give a man the keys to your peace, you were never meant to be guided by someone who cannot even lead himself. Yet too many of us hand over our joy and ask someone else to guard it. We sit quietly while our emotions are tossed around like leaves in a storm. We wait for a man to decide how our day should go, how our heart should feel, how our life should unfold. But your soul was not built to be a passenger in someone else's confusion. You have wisdom running through your veins. You have instincts that whisper truth in the still of the night. And still you doubt yourself every time a man shifts his mood or pulls away. You start wondering what you did wrong. You twist yourself into shapes that do not fit just to be accepted. But understand this, a man who cannot regulate his own emotions will always try to control yours. That is not love. That is survival mass disconnection. When you let someone else decide how you feel about yourself, you are no longer free. You are on his leash. waiting for him to smile so you can feel beautiful, waiting for him to call so you can feel wanted. And when he frowns or stays silent, you crumble like you were never whole to begin with. That is not the life you were promised. That is not the strength you were born with. You do not need a man to tell you who you are. You need to remember who you were before he forgot your worth. A man who is lost will only lead you in circles. You will wake up tired and confused. You will start to second-guess the light in your own mind. But my dear, clarity is your birthright. Emotional chaos is not romantic. Mood swings are not passion. The one who truly loves you will bring calm to your storm, not add thunder to it. You must stop letting men become your emotional compass. That is too much power to give anyone. You were made to stand firm in your knowing, not tossed around by every cold shoulder, not broken by every delayed reply. You are allowed to protect your peace like a sacred flame. You are allowed to walk away when someone's confusion becomes your burden. Stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You are not hard to love. You are just hard to manipulate. And that is a beautiful thing. This is your time to rise, to reclaim your emotions as your own, to stop taking responsibility for the waves someone else creates. There is a strength that comes when a woman stops apologizing for being steady, when she trusts her own feelings more than his excuses, when she stops looking to be chosen and instead chooses herself. Your emotions are sacred. Your peace is not up for compromise. Let no man hold the map to your joy. Let no man steer the wheel of your soul. My dear listeners, power does not beg. Power does not whisper in the corner hoping to be seen. It stands tall even when the room trembles. Too many women have been taught that being agreeable is the key to being loved, that if you nod and smile and never make too much noise, you will be accepted. But silence does not bring respect. Compliance does not birth greatness. And a woman who wants to rise must stop asking for permission to do so. They told you to be sweet. They told you not to be too loud, too bold, too ambitious. But the truth is they were afraid of what would happen if you ever realized your strength. They knew that once you stopped saying yes to everything that drained you, you would become So they called you difficult when you demanded better. They called you dramatic when you dared to express your truth. But do not confuse discomfort with disrespect. The world does not reward the agreeable. It rewards the bold, the woman who dares to take up space and speak with fire, the woman who will not lower her standards just to be liked. When you stop trying to please everyone, you start attracting the ones who are ready for your fullness. Let the people who want you small fall away. They were never meant to stay. You are not here to blend in. You are here to stand out and stand firm. You will lose some people when you find your voice. Let them go. You will be misunderstood when you choose your peace over their approval. Let it be. You will be called too much by those who never knew what to do with a woman who knew herself. But the truth is you have always been just enough. You have always been more than capable. Do not shrink to soothe someone else's insecurity. That is not your burden to carry. Power is quiet sometimes. It does not always shout, but it never bows to foolishness. It does not chase. It does not explain its existence. When you know who you are, you stop over-explaining yourself to those who do not listen anyway. You begin to move with clarity. You stop negotiating with people who cannot meet you where you stand. And you stop making yourself soft just to fit into places that cannot hold your truth. So I say this with love and fire. Stop being agreeable when you are called to be assertive. Stop dimming your light so others can feel comfortable in your shadow. There is no reward for losing yourself in the name of peace. The only reward is regret, and you have come too far to let that be your story. Stand in your truth. It is seized by the self-assured. Be bold enough to own your space without apology. My dear listeners, there is a moment in every woman's life when she must decide that her soul matters more than someone else's comfort. You were not placed on this earth to soothe broken egos or make peace where there is no honor. Still, many of you have been taught to lower your voice and quiet your needs so that a man could feel bigger. You have been told that your strength is too much and your truth too sharp. But you were not born to be silent in the face of disrespect. You were born to rise with grace and walk with fire. They will ask you to stay quiet. They will ask you to be understanding while they give you nothing to understand. And because you are kind, you will stay longer than you should. You will carry the weight of both hearts while yours breaks in silence. But the day must come when you stop choosing discomfort for the sake of keeping someone else at ease. Your calling is not to keep everyone else calm while you suffer storms inside. That is not love. That is erasure. A woman who keeps giving without receiving will eventually disappear into her own giving. You give your time, you give your heart, you give your strength, and when there is nothing left, they ask for more, and still you smile, still you stay. But let me tell you, love is not measured by how much you can endure. It is measured by how much truth and safety you feel in someone's presence. If you are always in pain, that is not love, that is survival. When you compromise your soul just to be kept, you teach them how to treat you. You teach them that you will bend until you break, that you will bleed just to keep peace in a house built on pride. But you do not owe anyone your silence. You do not owe anyone the pieces of yourself that you need to survive. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them sit with the truth. You are not here to be pleasing. You are here to be whole. It is not your duty to make a man feel strong when he refuses to build that strength within. It is not your duty to remain soft while they grow cold. You owe no one comfort at the cost of your calling. If your voice shakes the room, let it shake. If your truth rattles their pride, let it rattle. Do not clip your wings for a man who cannot fly beside you. You were not made to be easy. You were made to be real. And when the day comes that you finally choose yourself, do not explain it. Do not justify it. Walk in your knowing. Walk in your light. You will find peace there. You will find freedom there. Your softness is not weakness, but it must be protected. Because when you stop giving your peace away to those who have not earned it, you step into the power that was always yours. Hold your ground and never trade your calling for anyone's comfort. My dear listeners, there comes a time when a woman must remember who she is. Not who they told her to be, not what she became in the shadow of disappointment, but who she was before she was made to explain herself to men who were never ready to understand her. You have been bending for far too long, smiling in rooms where laughter came at your expense, giving grace to those who tossed your name around like it had no meaning. But no more. A queen does not explain her throne to jesters. She does not waste her time correcting those committed to misunderstanding her. Yet here you are, arguing with men who never intended to rise. Men who call you too deep because they cannot swim in truth. And all the while, your crown begins to tilt. But your crown was never meant to be lowered for anyone. You must understand that your value is not up for debate, not in text threads, not in late-night arguments, not in passive comments that mock your strength. A man who loves wisdom will listen. A man who walks in purpose will not pull you into pettiness. You have power in your silence. You have dignity in your distance. Do not let them pull you down just to keep their pride intact. There is no reward in wrestling with the unready. You lose your peace, you lose your clarity, and slowly you begin to lose yourself. Every time you argue just to prove your worth, you forget that your presence alone is proof enough. You are not a project. You are a presence, and the right man will never make you defend your existence. He will honor it without question. It is not your duty to sit in the mud with those who laugh at your shine. They joke because they are afraid. Afraid of what you reveal, afraid of what you challenge, afraid of the mirror your truth holds up to their lives. But fear is not your responsibility. Let them stay where they are. You have a throne to return to, and a throne is no place for foolishness. So rise, not in arrogance, but in assurance. Walk out of rooms that drain you without a single word. Withdraw your energy from games that lead nowhere. Let them call you cold if they must. Let them say you changed. That is what growth does. It separates the royalty from the noise. You have tried to teach. You have tried to reach, but now it is time to reign. Stay above the noise and let your crown speak louder. My dear listeners, there is a sacred truth that every woman must one day embrace. Your future is not built in grand moments, but in quiet choices, in what you tolerate, in what you accept, in the standards you set and the ones you refuse to lower. Many of you have been living below your birthright, not because you lack power, but because you have been too afraid to raise your expectations. But nothing grows in soil that welcomes weeds. You must protect your future by guarding your standards like treasure. You keep wondering why you feel stuck, why your life feels heavy, why your love feels like labor. It is because you are planting seeds of hope in ground that does not honor you. You are asking for loyalty from men who do not honor their own word. You are offering your gold to those who do not even know how to hold it. And still, you keep giving. Still, you stay. But every time you choose to accept less, you are rewriting the story of your future with your own hands. When you decide to raise your standards, everything around you begins to shift. People will leave. Your joy is not a luxury. It is the foundation for the life you are meant to live. And the moment you decide that you are no longer available for anything less, that is the moment your true future begins. You cannot walk into destiny while dragging dead weight. And some of these men, my dear, are just that. They are lessons, they are reminders, but they are not your partners in purpose. Do not confuse history with future. Do not mistake longevity for alignment. Time means nothing if it has only brought you pain. If they will not rise with you, let them stay where they are. You have mountains to climb and promises to fulfill. Every woman must come to the edge of her life and decide, will I continue to build with broken bricks? Will I continue to explain my worth to those who choose not to see it? Or will I stand in the fullness of who I am and trust that what is meant for me will never ask me to shrink? Your future is shaped not by what you dream, but by what you refuse to settle for. You cannot keep making room for men who take but never give. That is not strength. That is self-abandonment. Vision forward, walk with vision. Speak with intention, love with discernment. Raise your standards not because you are hard to please, but because you have finally remembered who you are. You are not asking for too much. You are asking the wrong man. And when you finally refuse to bend for anything less than truth, peace, and purpose, the right doors will open. And the future you dreamed of will no longer feel so far away. Build your future by becoming a woman who will never again lower her standards just to be seen. My dear listeners, as I stand here with you today, I want to remind you of the incredible power that lies within each of you. You were never meant to be small, to beg, or to settle. You were born to rise, to take up space, and to walk in the fullness of your truth. The journey ahead is yours to shape, and it begins with the decision to honor yourself, your boundaries, and your worth. As you leave this space today, carry with you the courage to stand tall and unapologetic. Walk into your life knowing that you deserve the very best, and do not settle for anything less. May you rise above the noise, build a future that reflects your greatness, and never let anyone dim your light. Good luck on this journey of transformation. May you always remember that you are enough. Thank you for being here today, for listening, and for choosing to step into your power.